The Faceless Man of Boulder, Colorado. Late at night on Pearl Street Mall, the shadows from the dim street light stretched long and eerie, merging with the dark whispers of Boulder Creek. Those brave or foolish enough to wander the quiet paths near 9th Avenue would sometimes spot him, a tall figure with his head tipped low, hidden beneath a wide-brimmed hat. His tattered coat flapped faintly in the breeze, and a worn, dark tote bag hung loosely from his hand. He never looked up. Some had dared to call out to him, but no words returned, only the unsettling rustle of the wind. The brave souls who approached swore there was something wrong with his face, or rather the lack of it. His features were smooth, erased, as if time or suffering had stolen the humanity from him. The closer they got, the more oppressive the air became, filled with the cold weight of injustice. Rumors spread that this was no ordinary man, that the restless spirit of William Tull. In life, he had been falsely accused, tortured, and hanged for crimes he never committed. Now, in death, he wandered Pearl Street, seeking something, perhaps justice, perhaps revenge. Those who saw him could never shake the feeling of being followed, as if his faceless gaze was burned into their very souls. And if you hear a slow, shuffling step behind you while walking by Boulder Creek after midnight, don't turn around. He's searching for a face to take. Some say the encounters with the Faceless Man start subtly, a distant shuffle of feet on cobblestones, growing louder, though the streets are deserted. Others where they feel an icy breath on the back of their neck, a chill that no jacket could ward off. Yet the worst are the dreams, vivid nightmares shared by those who've crossed paths with him. They speak of standing in the same spot on Pearl Street, unable to move, as the man with the dark hat slowly lifts his head. The dreamers try to scream, but their voices fail them, strangled by the sight of his smooth, blank face. It's said that those who dream of him wake up with the lingering taste of blood in their mouth, a faint reminder of the rope that choked the life out of William Tull over a century ago. The unlucky ones, those who dream of him more than once, start to change. They become distant, their faces pale, their eyes sunken. Friends report they stop speaking altogether, as if the man in the hat has stolen their voices too. Some believe these victims are the ones William Tull is after, that he's preparing to take something more than just their voice. A face, a life, a chance to reclaim what was taken from him unjustly all those years ago. His spirit, cursed by the wrongful hanging, is trapped, searching endlessly for the face that was denied him. Locals whisper that the only way to escape his curse is to avoid the stretch of Boulder Creek near Pearl Street Mall at night. But once you see him, it's already too late. One glance, even from the corner of your eye, is all it takes to invite him into your life. He doesn't need your attention, just your presence. He'll follow you, haunt you, until the day you can no longer remember your own reflection. Then, when you've forgotten what it's like to have a face, he'll take it for himself. As the days pass after the first encounter, strange things start to happen. People swear they see you around town, though you know you haven't been there. Friends ask if you're feeling all right, mentioning how you've been acting off. You try to laugh it off, but the knot of unease in your chest tightens with each passing day. Mirrors become unbearable each time you catch your reflection. Something's wrong, like a detail has shifted or blurred. Nothing you can put your finger on, but just enough to make your stomach churn. Your face seems less familiar, the person staring back at you more of a stranger with each glance, And then the dreams start. In the first one, you're standing alone on Pearl Street. The familiar shops and trees around you soaked in an unnatural, dreamlike haze. The street lights flicker, dimming one by one, casting long, trembling shadows that creep closer. You hear the sound, the unmistakable scrape of worn shoes on stone behind you. But no matter how fast you try to run, your feet won't move, rooted to the ground. The air turns colder. You feel it the presence, standing just a few feet behind. You want to turn to see, but terror holds you in place, and then it happens. Slowly, painfully, the brim of his dark hat comes into view. Your breath catches in your throat, and though you want to scream, you can't. The faceless man lifts his head. The void where his face should be is almost worse than seeing eyes, lips, or a nose and emptiness that pulls you in, that makes you feel like it's your face that's missing. You wake up in a cold sweat, your throat dry, mouth tasting faintly of copper. The morning light does little to soothe the creeping dread. The feeling doesn't leave you. He's watching, even when you're alone. You find yourself constantly looking over your shoulder, catching glimpses of a dark figure in the periphery of your vision, at work, on the bus, even in your own home. Always distant, just far enough that you can never make out any features. But you know it's him. He's waiting. A week later, you stop answering your phone. No one can reach you, and your friends start to worrying. They stop by your place, knocking on your door, calling your name through the crack in the window. They swear they hear movement inside, but you never come out. When they look in, they see something, but it's too dark, too shadowed to make out clearly. Just a figure sitting still with its head tipped low. The authorities eventually break down the door. They find your place abandoned, except for one strange thing. In the center of the living room, sitting on the floor, is an old, worn tote bag, and inside it, a dusty, wide-brimmed hat. You're never seen again. Some say you left, unable to cope with the madness. Others, though, believe you didn't leave at all. The faceless man doesn't take his victims away. He leaves them behind empty. Now, on quiet nights near Boulder Creek, people sometimes say they spot you, or at least what's left of you, walking slowly, head tipped low, carrying an old dark bag. And when they call out, hoping for some recognition, you never answer. You never look up. Time passes, and stories of your disappearance become another ghostly whisper shared by locals. People tell the tale of the faceless man and his newest victim, you. Tourists laugh it off, dismissing it as a local legend meant to spook them. But those who live near Pearl Street and Boulder Creek know better. They've seen it, felt it, the eerie presence that never leaves, growing stronger with each new soul claimed. It isn't long before more sightings begin, not just of the faceless man, but of you. The two figures are often seen together, silently walking the same path near 9th Avenue, side by side, but always apart. Witnesses describe a strange synchronization to the way you move, heads bowed, steps slow and deliberate, as though guided by some unseen force. No matter how close someone gets, neither of you ever look up. It's as if the weight of your shared fate is too much to bear, the haunting truth of what has been taken from you too terrible to acknowledge.